When working on your pelvic floor muscles, the thing that people have the hardest time understanding is if they're doing it right and if they're even engaging the muscle correctly. It's something that I actually struggled with, which is why I went to the Blue method to make sure that I could do it correctly. And this is something they taught me. You can take a simple yoga block or an exercise ball. You're going to sit directly on it. If you're on an exercise ball, you're going to sit on it. You put your hand at the front of your pelvic bone and your back hand at the base of your coccyx, which is your tailbone. You're going to lean forward, and right where you start to feel that pressure, that's the front end of your pelvic floor muscles. You're going to do the same thing, leaning back as comfortably as you can while still engaging your core so you don't cone, and you'll feel a little bit of pressure on your tailbone. That's the base on the back end of your pelvic floor muscles. Then you're going to kind of wiggle side to side. It's kind of like where your saddle is. Right when you wiggle this way, you'll feel like some pressure. That's the side of your pelvic floor and the other side. So that's the whole base. It's actually a lot bigger than people think. So now what we want to do is focus on drawing that up together as we work on TVA breathing and pulling your belly in, but that pelvic floor needs to come up slightly, just milliseconds before that belly starts to work, and to make sure that your pelvic floor and deep core muscles are working together. So now that you know where those muscles are, we're going to focus on lifting that pelvic floor all together and then drawing in our TVA and pulling our deep core muscles in to make it work as one motion for transverse abdominal breathing, or belly pumping, which is what the Blue method calls it. So I'm going to show you, we're going to do it with an S sound. We relax our stomach, we pull the S sound, we feel the pelvic floor lift off the yoga block, and then we pull our TVA in. You want to make sure you're taking as much time to inhale, to pull that air out, or sorry, to exhale, and then you want to make sure you're taking as much time to pull that pelvic floor in and your core in, and then relaxing it, the same thing. You don't just want to drop that air or drop that pelvic floor. It's just a really small motion of pulling your pelvic floor in. You'll barely feel that lift, and then as you relax, you'll feel it come down.